Hello everyone and welcome to So Many Games at a Time. My name is Joachim and today we'll talk about the best board games that my students played last year. So the school year 2022-2023, they played more than 13, but these are the board games that received votes at least twice. So sometimes a group of students might play a board game once and the rest did not, so they only voted once. So those board games I didn't take into account. If you're interested, I can make an overview of all the board games that we have here in the library, which are all mine anyway. So that could be a future video, let me know. So let's get started, okay? Is this one over here called Wild Space. Now I have some videos of Wild Space on the channel. I actually really like this one, but it wasn't a hit with the students because it's a little bit too complicated. You have a lot of cards with a lot of symbology, iconography and so on. And it took them a while to actually get it. And by the time they actually got it, it was a bit too taxing actually. So Wild Space, even though I really love it, it only got a 4 out of 10. So, okay. Then the next one, number 12. Sushi Go. I don't have a copy anymore because one of my colleagues left the school last year and I gave it as a going away present because my colleague loved it so much. And so I'll just have some pictures next to me, I guess. Sushi Go is a hit, basically. I mean, it got 7.5. The votes that it got were 7, 5.5, and 10. And so basically average, I guess, because it came down to a 7.5 as a score. But most kids like it. They're just not crazy about it. The fact that it goes around very quickly, games go very fast. You draft cards, you try to get the combo of the sushis that you need. So very simple to explain. Yeah, I think maybe the complexity needed to be a little bit higher to be more popular. I don't know. I'm still planning to add a new copy to the library because it's so easy to teach. It is so easy to bring to the table. It's always fun. And I think a score of 7.5 still warrants a place. You know, for example, Wild Space will be removed. All right, next one. The first bigger box game. There are several big box games actually. This one is Downforce. Now Downforce, it looks like a racing game, but it's actually a betting game because the cars are going around on the track and there are certain moments where, like the yellow lines, where when a car passes there, you have to actually fill in your sheet and bet which car is going to win, which car is going to be second, and so on. Now, most of the time, we play this with the wrong rules in the beginning. We just let them race, you know. And then after they really get a good feeling of the rules and so on, the second or third play, we'll introduce the betting mechanic, okay? So, but in general, they just want to race. That's all they want to do. And that one got an 8, so 7, 7, and a 10. So that was Downforce. And that is Get Bit Deluxe, or just Get Bit, basically. Get Bit is hilarious. You can see it has a little Lego style kind of people. For example, this guy here, right? There you go. You got boys and girls, even a skeleton. And you've also got a shark, right? And they're basically, the rule book is also the player mat, or the game board, I should say, because all of these guys are swimming, trying to get to the shore, and the shark is trying to get them. And basically, it's a very simple game. You have, let's say, 5 cards in your hand from 1 to 5. Depending on the player count, you can go higher. So 1 to 5, and everybody chooses a number and puts it down. And the number that you put down is the number of spaces you go up. So the shark is at the back, and here are all the people. You jump them, basically. But if I'm not mistaken, the lower numbers go first, and then the higher numbers. But the problem is, if you put the number down and it's the same number as somebody else, you both do not move. And whoever is closest to the shark will lose a limb. So for example, this guy would then be poof, now he's just swimming with one arm, and then he goes back to he jumps to the front of the line. You play again. And then if he gets bit again, you remove it again until, of course, he has no arms or legs left. And then that person is out of the game. When there are 2 people left, I think, then the game ends. Anyway, you can already see the appeal. I played this a lot. It had like 2, 4, 6, 8 votes. And ended up with an 8.188. You got like a 7, a 10, 6, 6, 10, 9, 10, 7.5. So in general, a very popular game. Forgive me if I didn't get the rules 100% correct, but you know, you get the gist of it. When I teach them, I do get the rules correct. Here, and that is ink and gold, also known as diamant in different versions. So basically what you're doing here is you have a temple that is slowly being built because there's like 5 rounds. You have 5 rounds. And every round, everybody descends down into the temple. And everybody has like their little tent as well. And as they go down, you draw a card. So you reveal the first treasure, right? So let's say you're with 5 people and the treasure says 10. That means everybody will receive 2 diamonds and puts it in front of their tent. Not inside, because they're still in the temple. Then, before we reveal the next card, they have to choose from 2 cards. One card says, go back to the tent. The other card says, stay down there in the temple and continue looking for riches. But of course, that's chosen in secret. So then we reveal everybody together. And then the people who went back, they go back and they can put their gems into their tent and they're done. The other ones will continue. Now, let's say we're still with 5 people and the card said 13. Everybody will get 2 equally divided, but those 3 diamonds cannot be equally divided. So they stay on the card. The next time when people can choose to leave or go, when you leave, if you're the only one, or if you're with 1, 2, or 3, since there's only 3 left, then you can take a diamond, maybe all of them if you're the only one leaving. If you're leaving with 2, you'll both get 1. If you're leaving with 3, each of you will get 1. However, there are also artifacts in there that have a value of 5 or 10. If you are the only one leaving, you can take the artifacts. If you are not, then you can't take them at all. And also add to that, you've got a lot of these danger cards like zombies, spiders, fire, rockfall, and so on. When one appears, it's okay. Everyone's safe. If a second of the same one appears, everybody in the tunnel runs away and you leave all your riches behind. So basically it's push your luck. You do it 5 rounds and in the end you check who has the most gems and then that's it. And of course, as you go closer and closer to those final rounds, more and more people will take more and more risks because they want to catch up to whoever's winning. So yeah, really good game, ink and gold, like it a lot. Next, we have King of Tokyo. Now, I have both editions, but I'm going to show you the dark edition. I have the other edition as well. And basically, it looks, of course, very cool. But King of Tokyo, I think most people know this already. You are a monster in Tokyo, and the other monsters are outside of Tokyo, depending on with how many. If you have a higher player count, 2 monsters will be in Tokyo. The monsters outside will roll dice, trying to hit the monster inside. But if the monster rolls dice and manages to hit, they will hit all the monsters outside in one go. But the monsters outside, they can roll and they can actually heal themselves as well. But the monsters inside of Tokyo, they cannot heal themselves. So basically you're rolling dice trying to knock out everyone, or on the dice you also have 1, 2, 3. If you roll 3 3s, you get 3 points, 3 2s, 2 points, 3 1s, 1 point. If you roll more than 3 of that, every extra number is 1 point. So if you roll 5 1s, you get 3 points. 1 point for 3 1s, and then another one, and another one. Okay. So you can win by getting 20 points, or you can win by being the last person standing. You can also get energy through your rolls, which can buy you really cool cards. It's a really cool game. They really enjoy it. The scores for this one was 8.3. So yeah, it's gonna keep going higher and higher. This also had how many votes in total? 5 votes. So yeah, pretty good score. They really enjoyed it. The next one I don't have with me because it's at home because I took it on holiday. It's Deep Sea Adventures. And this is a game that few people win because most of the time everybody dies. So basically, you're all in a submarine. You dive in and you're looking for riches, right? So you roll a die that decides how far you go down, right? 2 dice actually, and then the next person roll. But when you finish your roll, you have to decide: do you pick up the tile that you're on or you leave it? But if you pick it up, next time it's your turn and you roll, it'll be -1 to the results, and you're using up 1 oxygen. In total, there's 25 oxygen, and you share with everybody. So you can already realize the deeper you go, the longer it takes to get back. And the deeper you go, the more valuable the tiles. But if you pick up like 2 tiles and then you need to go back, it can take a while because the dice don't go to 6, they only go to 3. So the maximum you can roll with the 2 dice is 6. So yeah, it's most of the time people start picking up and other people start picking stuff up, and then the oxygen goes down really fast. And sometimes people pick stuff up just to make sure the oxygen is gone so nobody gets back. So you do 3 rounds of that, and then whoever has the most points wins. There's some more mechanics in there, but very simple, very small box, very nice, really, really cool game. Next one is Reef. That is a game that I also play with my family. Here you go, Reef. Very, very nice box, very nice game. You can see all the plastic pieces. Basically, it's a very, very simple game. There's cards that you select from. You choose one, and then the top cards, the top icons you see here, you place them on your reef, and then the bottom one you score if you are able to. So sometimes you'll get cards that you want to score later. Sometimes you'll get cards just for the different types of reef that you want to place down, and sometimes for both. And yeah, it can be. You also have some kind of hate drafting that not drafting, but that you take cards away because you know other people want it. It's pretty, it's fun to handle, and apparently it's also popular with the students. There's 4 different types of reefs, and when 2 colors run out, the game ends. Is it 2 colors or 1 color? One of the 2. I have to check. All right. So for reef, there were only 2 votes, but it still ended up being 8.5. So there we go. We have Draftosaurus. So very simple game. Very simple game. You're going to be drafting dinosaurs. So you can see everybody has their own park. You have your own little hand. You take like 6 dinosaurs or something. You roll the dice to see where you have to place it. You choose a dinosaur where you place it, and then you pass the other dinosaurs to the next person. I think the number of dinosaurs depends on how many people are playing. But very simple, but you're also keeping an eye on the other people's parks to make sure that you can sabotage them a little bit. And of course you want to try to get as many points as possible. There's also 2 sides to the boards. There's some variety. Students like it because it's cute, it's fast, it's funny. Of course, with passing on the dinosaurs with your hand is not really good for COVID, but yeah. Next up, we have Men at Work. Now, Men at Work, I personally really like. Here we go, Men at Work. And the funny thing is, the men are at work, and this is the boss, the lady, I forgot her name, but she comes and checks after a while. Doesn't say here. But Men at Work basically is a dexterity game. You are basically building this whole construction site that you're building. And it depends on the cards what you place. For example, you have these 2. This is the front of the card. And then the back of the previous card of the deck will tell you which one or 2 you have to do. And at one point, the boss lady comes out, and from then on, you can start getting points. In the beginning, you don't even get points. You're just building up. And if anything falls, you have 3 of these tokens, you lose one of your tokens. If you lose all of your tokens, you're out of the game. and things will fall. I think I've got several videos of this also, if not on Instagram, if it's not on YouTube, but a lot of fun, They like it. It had 4 votes and it got a 10, a 9, a 10, and an 8.5. So very, very high. Valeria le Royaume. Basically, Valeria Card Kingdoms. Now, sadly, I mean, I'll just put pictures next to my head because here I can open the box, I guess, but I'm not going to do that because I have to rearrange everything. But Valeria Card Kingdoms is very easy to explain. You choose a set of cards. You do the setup. You have these units you can recruit. You have the domains that you save up for, and you have the enemies that you fight. That's a basic Valeria Card Kingdoms game. And how does it work exactly? Everybody starts with a peasant or someone else, depending on the variants, and you just roll a die. So the die might have a number, it'll activate, you use those resources to buy a unit, and all the units have a number from 1 to 12. Sorry, from 2 to 12, because you roll 2 dice. So for example, if I roll a 5 and a 4, and I have those in front of me, then my number 4 will activate, my number 5 will activate, and if I have a number 9, that will activate too. But the units of the other people will also all activate, but for the secondary condition. So for example, my units might give me, one of my units might give me 2 gold, and everybody else, if they have that person too, they might get 1 gold. So you also have magic, you have might, and there's a lot of ways to replay this game. There's so much replayability. There's so many cards that you can exchange. For example, the numbers 2 and 3, for example, could be multiple things. 4 and 5 would be another multiple. So, right, that's how it works. So there's a lot of replayability. But of course, I'm talking about expansions as well. So students really enjoyed this. It got an 8, a 10, a 10, a 9, and a 10. So, yeah. The fact once it clicks, they were really into it. Corridor. Now this is the big version, the wooden version. So let me show you the board. This is the nice chunky board, right? And it's really, really very simple. On the board, you'll put a pawn here, here, and if you play with 4, here and here, and you try to cross. So everybody has a pawn, and if you play with 2 players, you have 10 walls. If you play with 4 players, you have 5 walls. So on your turn, you either move your pawn or you place a wall anywhere on the surface. There's one rule though. You cannot completely block off a pawn. But of course, if this person's here, you can put a wall here and here and here and try to make them go all the way around. So it is pretty strategic. It is a lot of fun. They really, really enjoy it, and it's head to head. Now there are some other games that I didn't mention that are also actually very popular, and I'll do a quick fire round of that now. So the 4 that I quickly want to mention are Katsukiji, which is basically it's a set collection game where you're trying to get fish. But you have 5 of these in different colors. You put them on your finger, and then it's 1, 2, 3, pop on the fish that you want to collect. If somebody else hits the same fish as you, neither of you can get it. So yeah, you can see the chaos that erupts with that when that's played. Mountain Goats, a very, very simple game, but basically it has the numbers, I think, 6 to 10. And how it's difficult to explain in this case. Basically, you have a bunch of goats and you are rolling dice and you're trying to move them up the mountain. If you reach the top of the mountain, you will get the points. However, if other people reach the mountain with their goats, they will knock you off. And some numbers like 10, they are easier to get there. The distance is shorter. But other numbers like 5 take a longer time to get there because you roll it more often. Or 6, I think. Yeah. So very simple, but they enjoy it as well. Jamaica, I'm kind of surprised it wasn't on the list. Maybe it didn't get voted on at all because normally it should have a score. They really enjoyed this one as well. Basically, very quickly, you're a pirate. You go around, you roll dice to see which numbers are used. Those numbers, they're not on the cards, but they will it's morning and evening. Okay, just like that, yeah. So it's morning and evening. For example, this is morning, this is evening, and on your card, this is morning, this is evening. So for example, if you use this card, the 4 will give you 4 food, and the 2 will give you 2 cannons. But other cards have arrows that make you go forward or backwards, or have gold that give you gold. And then on the way, you can also pick up treasure, which can be positive or negative, or help your ship get stronger. And if you end up in a space with another pirate, you fight, and that's when you roll the attack die, but you can also use your cannons. So of course, it's always a lot of fun when they end up attacking each other. Lots of fun as well. This is another really popular game that they like to play head to head, or with 4 people actually as well, and that's Blokus. So I think that's very popular in most schools, to be honest. Basically, you try to get rid of as many pieces of yourself that you can, and when it's your turn, you just place a piece, but it can only touch diagonally, so it cannot be exactly next to it, as you can see. And then, of course, after a while, you're going to start running out of space, and then whoever is able to place the most pieces, like in here, blue, they win the game. Okay, so that's like a quick overview of the games that are most popular. I did this video because the board game club is going to start real soon here again. If you have any games that you feel like you should really try this is really cool, let me know. If you want me to make a video going over all the games we have here, because they don't always get played, I can do that too. Okay, my name is Joachim, and always will be. There's so many games all the time, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.